Hello, family. 1111 Unified Family. I'm so privileged and honored to be here today with Susan Sweetin from the Freedom Travel Alliance. We recently met through Lee Davey of the Unified Alliance during one of our solution summits. We're in the background co-creating the new Earth together. Susan, I would love for you to introduce yourself a little further and let everybody know who you're being in the world.
Thank you so much for having me on. I am a mom first. I am a wife. I am a creator. I am a messy artist. I am working towards making this earth what I want to leave as a legacy for my son.
Yeah. Indeed, that is one of my motivating forces as well. I have a 6-year-old. His name is Cadence, and he brings so much light and joy into my life. And I just keep stroking his hair and saying, "This is for you, baby.
That's
All
right.
this work."
That's right.
Yeah, thank you for letting mommy do this because
Yep.
this is for your future. So I can have grandchildren and you can have grandchildren.
That's right. And we can enjoy it and it'll be
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
exactly. So tell us a little bit about Freedom Alliance and what you do.
So at Freedom Travel Alliance, we are a amazing new creation. We are something that no one has ever seen before. We are working towards bringing everybody travel from hotels to flights to rail to sea,
Mm,
being that alternative that's bringing
mhm.
humanity back into travel again, joy back into travel again, honoring our natural way of traveling.
I love this. And how are you doing this? I heard some beautiful plans of yours.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're 9 months old, so we're in the beginning
Mhm.
stages of what we're working on. But we've had some really successful rescue missions or freedom
Mm,
flights, as we call them,
mhm.
for people that wanted to get out of their current locations and get into a more beautiful space, whether that be an island that they've picked or maybe somewhere in the United States.
Mhm.
The way we're doing it right now is in the private membership section of the world. So it's important
Okay.
for everyone to understand that this is not an easy feat. Specifically, since we're focusing right now on air travel, we have
Mhm.
done some ferries and we've moved people that way, but we're focusing solely right now on that air travel, which everyone seems to be in the last 2 weeks, right? Everyone is looking at what's going on in the airline industry. We're looking at it from a perspective of what to do and what not to
Mhm.
do and what to
Mhm.
bring back. And so some of that private domain piece or that
Yep.
private area allows us to travel differently
Mm.
and allows us to expand uh, in a way that is more affordable for so many people. And
Mhm.
our goal is to be that alternative by having our own fleet. But in the midst of that, right now we are using a private charter system, and it's only offered to members in order to
Uh-huh.
protect those relationships.
Yep. Amazing. And so this is a private member association?
Right. So that's
Okay.
exactly, yeah. So a lot of people are some familiar with those PMAs. And
Yep.
so we are sitting in that private domain. Yeah. And
Yep.
our goal is to remain there, to stay in, and again, working with and flying with like-minded individuals. I mean, wouldn't that be nice again?
Yes, it would.
Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't traveled joyfully in a really long time pre-nonsense.
Mhm.
And I am excited to have a bunch of like-minded individuals to my left, to my right, in front of me, and back of me, and that's going to be like a giant party in the sky.
Oh, I love it. I've always pictured what it would be like to actually get like a big cruise ship that's just our friends, right?
Right?
And exactly.
That is a goal.
Producing an event, yeah, with
That is a goal. Let's
music
do it.
and the
Let's do it.
art and all the things.
2022.
Yes, I love it. Speaking of 2022, my partner and I, we are creating the 1111 University. It's a mystic initiation, sacred pilgrimage, and joint research expedition to Egypt. And so my
Whoa.
biggest wish is that we can travel to and from the country with grace and ease and be able to return home to our animals and our land. And so who knows what the unforeseeable future will bring, and yet I keep holding that prayer in my heart.
Well, I would
Yeah.
like to say that we should be partners on that. Again, we're working in a terrain that's constantly changing. The rules are always being flipped. The script is constantly being rewritten every moment of every day. Things just changed, yesterday in certain countries. I know that they're going to change by the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to say what is secure and what we are shoring up are the ways that we get to travel in that private sector and
Uh-huh.
working with the different partnerships that we're bringing in to slay that dragon.
Mm, I love it. And so if we had this group, we can have a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 55. We could potentially charter a private plane.
Correct. So the way we work right now is that we have people that can go in and book all on their own, go behind the
Mm-hmm.
paywall. Once they're a member, they can look at our different charter brokers and they can search their own flights, which a lot of people have done. They've booked their own charters. And then we have people that are saying, hey, look, I found a charter or I need a charter. And they post it themselves inside the members lounge. Our members lounge is very active. And what we do help them is to push out that information saying, hey, we have a charter coming up. Um, and do you want to come in and do you want to be a part of it? And then we can get them in the air faster because I'm just a
Mm-hmm.
family of three, but you might be a family of five.
Uh-huh.
So we already have people in over 81 countries as members.
Amazing.
So the opportunity is endless for those that are ready to travel this way and have the ability and want to. And right now, what we're seeing again in the heat of all of this is a lot of get me out of here flights.
Mm-hmm.
But our goal is to bring people to these, be the solution to bring people to these events, such as the freedom events,
Mm-hmm.
the energetic events, the health
Mm-hmm.
conscious events.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the way that they're traveling, which is a natural state of being.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I am literally so excited. I have full body truth bumps right now, Susan, as you're speaking. Thank you. Thank you for doing this
Well, it's
work.
not a small endeavor. So,
I'm sure.
I decided,
I'm
as my husband
sure.
said, you couldn't have picked a smaller endeavor in 2020 to take on. You decided to
Right?
take on all of travel and starting with the airline. Yeah, I did. Crazy, huh?
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's so precious. And I can hear the little one in the background. And that's our motivating force, right? As moms,
Yep.
we're like, I want to be able to take my kid anywhere in the world.
Right.
So, yeah.
It definitely started with my son.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say that, he's never done any of the extreme measures that they've asked for. We hug, we touch, we kiss, and we breathe
Mm-hmm.
as natural born humans. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my concern was that because we were in New Jersey, and my biggest concern was not just him seeing the world, but about him being a part of um, a society that understood,
Mm-hmm.
what it looked like to see the world, for
Mm-hmm.
him to be um, recognized and not segregated,
Mm-hmm.
for him not to be treated differently because of a health status.
Yep.
And so it definitely started with my worry about his safety. Should we need a get me out of here ourselves kind of flight?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I leaned into my husband and I said, "We need planes." And he said, "You're crazy." I said, "I am, but
Mm-hmm.
we still need planes." And I was able to find enough people in our universe, right? You get connected to people all for a reason. And Dolores was on a call doing a Facebook Live about buying terminals. And my other two business partners, Tara and Kevin, already are down with everything that I suggest because they get along with my crazy. And so, Freedom Travel Alliance was born in the midst of the chaos. I will say this has been so beautiful. I
Mm.
never would have expected if someone told me 5 years ago, you're going to be running a new travel, hybrid agency. I would have been like, no way. Like, you're crazy. No way. But I'm excited to be here. And again, in 9 months, having people in 81 countries talking
Incredible.
to you about wanting to go to Egypt and saying, hey, I can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to get people to a safer destination out of the current, tyrannical measures that they're under. It's exciting. As much as it's daunting, it is amazing. And I am so grateful.
Mm. Mm.
And it's a selfish act, right? So I did it for my own self, but there's a benefit to other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you there. Wow. And so it goes beyond air travel, though. I know that you're creating some kind of green book that lets us know where
Yeah.
to spend our
There's
money as
many
consumers.
components. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's many
Okay.
components because like a typical woman, we like to throw as many things up in the air to see how we can juggle them, right?
Yes.
So one thing started with travel, and then inside of that travel became that idea of
Mm.
what people used to use in the during segregation, but like you said, called the Green Book. So our version, our reimagine of that is called the Freedom Travel Guide, and
Mm.
inside of that are businesses, services, producers, providers, products that are of like-minded people that
Mhm.
want to. Vote with their wallet is where we know we need to
Mhm.
start acting,
Mhm.
whether that's using kindness credits or whether that's using crypto, whether that losing like your dollars or euros or slave currencies, whatever you want to call them. Most importantly is that we start closing that circuit and supporting each other only. So one of our biggest pieces on freedom travel is called divesting in tyranny. It's a call to action.
Mm.
Divest
Okay.
in tyranny and invest in freedom.
Love it.
So we need to be more mindful of that, and we have to make it easier for people. So it's really easy for me to say, "Hey, don't shop at Amazon." But as a mom, or if you're a single mom, or you're stuck at home, you're homebound, what are you giving people to help
What are the
them sub?
options?
Right? What are you subbing that
Mhm.
with? You can't stand on a soapbox and just preach. So I
Mhm.
don't. I have a tendency to really get involved. So our version of the Green Book really started with, okay, let's start with travel because we need to know, where
Mhm.
is it safe to go and how do we get
Mm.
there,
Mhm.
and where is it safe to stay, because I don't want to stay in a place that's requiring masks and tests just to enter. And there's a lot of hotels
Mhm.
and resorts that are. And then there's
Mhm.
so many of us. I find all these people are like, I own a resort like Lee.
Mhm.
I own a space that you can do your own retreat at. And
Mhm.
so why would I want to go spend with people that don't get it?
Mm.
How
Mm.
much more
Mhm.
powerful are we when we're only spending and supporting those that are like-minded? So that's one huge component. In the
Yeah,
same
it
sense,
is.
we have the newly launched uh, courses. So we just did a critical thinking course, an 8-week course, which was very successful, with Mark Crispin Miller and
Mhm.
Rob Williams, both professors and doctorates out of their own right. One with NYU, one at the University of Vermont, and critical thinking in the time of this time. And it's an important piece because it's helping people bridge that gap in conversation. I
Mm.
needed it, so I have a tendency, like you, as an event planner still at heart, to create
Mhm.
things that I know I need, right?
Mhm.
So that's one other aspect. And then one of the other pieces that I think is really exciting that I hope people want to jump in on is our Go with Freedom campaign. So the Go with Freedom is a monetary cryptocurrency that we're using for events. So if they come to an event that you're doing, they go to an event that we're doing, there is a opportunity to be able to raise funds if crypto is part, or silver or gold is part of your ecosystem.
Uh-huh.
And our hope is that people use this as a gamification to get going again. People were
Mhm.
were strangled in travel this year and last year, and our hope that they take this as a monetary incentive to get going. So the more you go, the more you grow. um,
Mm.
and it all relates back to traveling with us, traveling like a human again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I actually had a psychic reading a few months ago. I see this gentleman named Jesse Magic. He's incredible.
I love that.
And one of the things he told my husband, he's like, "You got to get ready. You're going to pack your bags. You're going to start traveling a lot." And then I just keep seeing the travel industry and how it's kind of just shutting down, and our options are getting slimmer and slimmer of like where we want to spend our money. And just like, oh no, how are we going to do this? And then I met you and I was like, da, 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 da.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a small endeavor, but it's important for everyone to manifest that. I do it every day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to do that every day. We have to get into the mindset that we don't have to be to do. I wasn't a pilot, but I'm working with the experts that are. We
Yeah.
have people in our advisory committee. We have people in our smallest working group circles that meet with us, that give us exactly where we should be positioning ourselves as we create this, for lack of better terms, hybrid Frankenstein. It's a giant mashup of all these other
Yeah.
industries
Yeah.
that have tried to do a version of this, but they all do it in the public. And they
Mm-hmm.
all do it for I don't think, a heart-centered place. This is coming back
Mhm.
to bringing that joy back in travel. It's really important for me that it all relates back to that, because
Mhm.
like you said, you're feeling that crunch. So while we're supporting creating, we also have the support network of those that we're already talking to that are continuing to fight in the industry, which is just
Mm.
as important, right?
Mhm.
We're part of that 60-40. Some people ask me, what 60-40 model, 60% build and 40% fight. So I won't allow any more of my freedoms to be taken away. But
Mhm.
so I'll be fighting, but I need to be building more. And that's what
Mm.
2020 and 2019 taught me, is that I spent too much time, 99% of it, shaking my fist trying to get through, instead of
Mhm.
going over here with my hammer and building what
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
I want for my world, my son, my life.
Yep.
Um, and so while we have some supportive tools in their advocacy portal, because we do have that, we have an advocacy portal for those that are in the industry that are looking to write a letter, get active,
Mm.
find the lawyers, find the groups inside of their own organization that are pushing back on these different mandates. We want to support them in that endeavor. But for those that are ready to walk away, and for those that already have, because we have so many in the industry,
Mm.
specifically
Mm.
pilots and flight
Mm.
attendants,
Mhm.
that are saying, let's go get the jets. I want to work for you.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. It's a
Yeah.
whole movement. It really is. This is, as you said, we're building, and the old paradigm is breaking down. And I realized about halfway through last year that it's not, I don't need to play a part in it. It's not my responsibility to be a part of the crumbling of it. What my mission and vision is the future, and sitting in the present moment of the gratitude that we've already done it. We're doing it. That's how we move from 1111 unify into 1111 unified, like just claiming we're already unified. We're already traveling in joy and freedom.
That's right.
So yeah.
That's right. And opting out,
Hmm.
right? So opting out does not mean that you're checked out. It means that you are checked into something that is a higher
Mm.
vibration. That
Hmm.
you understand that you can be a part of the solutions, and that not waiting to be empowered. You have the power, activating
Hmm.
and doing something with it. Whether that be
Hmm.
opening up your own living room for coffee, because you don't like the coffee shop that's done XYZ,
Hmm.
to getting on a plane with us and
Hmm.
coming in saying, look, I think that the travel industry needs a makeover. And it needed it for a while, is what we found
Yeah.
out. Getting connected to all of these people, from the cleaning staff in the hotels to the pilots in the air.
Mm.
There's
Mm.
a whole makeover that was needed anyway. We all know
Hmm.
that. And now
Hmm.
it's the great time for us makers to jump in and create it and work together.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to be here, and to be able to bring this to an audience that is on that vibration. It's a lot
Hmm.
nicer to be amongst friends talking about this
Hmm.
than trying to tell everyone that are I don't know, the disbelievers, or those that don't get it, that are like, how
Mm.
are you going to? That's impossible
Mm.
to do that. But
Mm.
there's a lot of things that are impossible. But
Anything is possible. Everything can happen.
right. We're amazing beings when we put
Yeah.
ourselves to work. I mean, look at what
Yeah.
we've created in our
Yeah.
lifetimes, in
Yeah.
centuries. So the fact that we're
Mm.
talking so miles away, like anything is possible.
Uh-huh. Exactly. It's one of my favorite sayings. Anything is possible, everything can happen, everything is possible, and anything can happen.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
You're going to tell me what I can't accomplish and manifest? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I really am going to do what I set my mind to. And I just so appreciate that about you and other women who are on purpose right now.
Well, I have to say I'm not alone. It does
Mm-hmm.
work that we have an
Of
amazing
course.
structure of team behind us and
Yeah.
support, and that people were ready.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, people were ready. They were ready
Mm-hmm.
for this. They've been
Mm-hmm.
ready for this. They were
Mm-hmm.
waiting for this. And so it was easy to do.
Mm.
And it's easier to do when I have all of these amazing people with me that are helping us
Mm-hmm.
build it. From
Mm-hmm.
the advisors to the designers to our customer service team and gurus, and each one of them have their own special superhero powers. Some of them are
Yeah.
sound healers, Reiki. They do nutrition, yoga. This is a group that are ready to put all of their efforts into birthing this new
Mm-hmm.
earth together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that this is the moment in time we've read about. We just didn't know we were chosen to be a part of it until we start doing it. And
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
Yeah. And it really does take that collaboration and cooperation, and somebody can spearhead something and lead the brigade, and yet it always takes the team to
Yep.
create it. And so we love calling our team for 1111 Unified our dream team, because dreamwork makes the teamwork and teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right. That's
So
right. So
yeah.
what did you miss most about travel, just out of curiosity?
Fortunately, I was able to travel earlier this year. I was in Egypt for 3 weeks, and I
Okay.
went to Turkey for a week. Egypt was pretty open. It was
Okay.
pretty, like, you had to wear a mask when you entered certain places, but once we got into the temple spaces and stuff, we didn't have to.
Interesting.
Turkey was different.
Such a smart little
Turkey,
disease.
yeah, Turkey, when we were in Turkey, you actually were asked to wear a mask walking down the street. And if a policeman stopped you, you had to put it on. That never happened for us. But what did happen is we went to Istanbul, and we only had 2 days in Istanbul before we flew home. And we went there for the Grand Bazaar. And when we got there, it was on a Saturday. And apparently the Grand Bazaar is closed on Saturdays now. So it was we experienced a lot of shutdown in Turkey.
Oh,
Restaurants closed at like 7 p.m. It was a very unique experience after having kind of the freedom and the spaciousness in Egypt. So yeah, we
yeah, this is where a partnership in the tourism builds business is going to make all the difference. We're going to, creating that green book, that network, that of where can we go, how can we support to keep you open, because your government has really put you on your knees or collapsed what you
mm,
had taken so long to build is so important. And everyone's perspective of what it looks like to travel right now is important for us to get feedback on, which is why that members forum area for us is critical, because we hear a
mhm,
lot of information. We also have a Telegram chat
mhm,
where we're getting flooded with insights, which is a critical piece in this ever moving and ever changing, shifting terrain.
yeah,
So it's nice to hear that there was some openness back then. I hope that we're able to find people inside of your network that can say, this is the town that I love, and this is a section that I would love to showcase. We have a upcoming idea of creating this magazine where we can say, show us your city, so we can start showcasing those places that people are like, look, it never happened in my area. I have a lot of people specifically here in Florida, they're like, this is a whole bubble.
mhm,
And there's some towns in the different areas of the country that we would love to be able to show the world, this is what it looks like to travel there and have the joy of
mhm,
breaking bread, finding your local market, being able to shop there. But even some of our people in Berlin right now, one of my teammates there, I mean, she can't even find a place to buy local vegetables because of the world that she's living in, of showing a
wow,
QRL. Like
mhm,
they're looking for all of those passes just to buy vegetables. So
wow,
we know that, again, this network of connectivity is going to be important as we continue to move forward in this, so we can find and connect those people to be able to live your life simply as well as joyfully with travel.
yes, yes. And I imagine in the forum, people are staying on top of like where you can travel. Because, for instance, my husband and I, we have land in Bali that we can go build a home on, but we have been unable to go there thus far. And so our whole plans for last year were kind of botched, and we're just waiting. We're just on a hold pattern. So, but
We monitor it every day.
okay,
We check it every day,
cool.
but I will tell you, in one flight that we did with Dolores, in 1 hour's time, the rules changed. So she was
Ah,
landing over after midnight, because of a delay, and when she got
mhm.
there, the next day, she landed, and the requirement was for a PCR test, whereas before they didn't. So this is literally an ever-changing landscape.
Wow.
And yes, we're monitoring as close as we can, and some things shift really, really quickly,
Yeah.
especially as these rollouts start to happen, especially as some of these lawsuits are starting to be won or filed. It is a constant management of like, okay, this is what works now and this is what's not. And then,
Mhm.
you know, you're hearing things on the media, which we all know, don't trust it.
Mm.
So there is a piece of
Mm.
this that is like, okay, well, where in the government mandates, where in the public policy can I find what I just heard on the news? The news is
Mm,
saying X, that the prime minister of a certain country is going to do X, Y, and Z. But that was just, they're constantly reiterating it. Can I see the
right.
manifest? Can I see
Mm-hmm.
the documentation so we can make sure that our flights, our charters are getting in no problem? Because so far,
Mm,
none of that stuff, not a lot of times they don't match up, is what I'm saying.
uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it's tricky. It's tricky to stay on top of that
Bless
piece.
you. Bless you and your team for just creating this and for just putting your heart into it. I mean, as you said, quite an endeavor. So many moving parts all at once. So
Yep.
just
Yep.
blessing this field right here, right now, this vision. May it come to fruition. May it be protected from on high. Yeah.
Thank you. We need
Mm-hmm,
that.
of course.
We need that.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I live in the United States. I live in Northern California, and I live in an area where a lot of people come to travel too. We're near the redwoods, we're near the vineyards and the wineries, and people come here for wine tasting and going to the ocean. And there was a point in time a few years ago where my husband and I, we were like, we haven't actually even traveled in our own area and like done the tourist route and gone to the wineries. And so we did it a couple times, and it's gorgeous area.
You're like
So grateful to be here.
discovering your own hood again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, discovering it for the first time. He was born around here, so we're in his old stomping grounds. But my point is that there are so many places just in the United States that I am drawn to and haven't gone to yet. I want to go to Four Corners. I love Sedona. I want to travel there and spend more time there. I want to go to Zion. That there are these beautiful meridian chakra power points on the planet just in the United States alone that we can travel to. So I want to I want to start claiming that I can travel within while I can before I can start, or
Yeah.
in the time being, I should say, in the meantime.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, this is all a dangerous slippery slope. We'll see where we net
Mm,
out to at the end of the year,
mhm,
but we have two pieces of legislation for those people that are outside of the country. In the United States, we do have two pieces of legislation right now actually coming out of, thanks to you, California. One of your senators
mm,
put forth a bill requiring certain things that go against the natural freedom traveling way
mhm.
in order to travel domestically. So I do think that
Ah,
people need to realize that they're there. They've gotten one other gentleman from New York also put forth the same bill, a similar bill
mhm,
requiring the tests and certain things. Domestically.
mhm.
So this is there. It's not
Ah,
at our doorstep. It's in our living room. And if we aren't actively participating to either let your legislators know that you disagree, or again coming in and divesting. Don't
mm,
if you're not up for writing letters and sending emails and making phone calls, then come join us at Freedom Travel, because we need to show the world that we're a million strong, that we don't
yeah.
want to participate and travel the way that they're asking or expecting or mandating, that we
Mhm,
want to travel with our natural human inalienable rights intact.
mm, mhm,
And that's one thing that we are safeguarding. It's right. Our mission statement is right inside of everyone's passports. Right inside your passports, every world passport, it says the same exact thing. And that's where we stand, is not to discriminate and to honor everyone's inalienable rights to travel and movement.
mhm,
So
mm,
while we are safe for now inside of the domestic United States, know that the theys, I hate even using that,
eh,
um, the that there are pressures out there
yeah.
to have that change. And so I implore people to get active and stay involved in their legislation and their legislative bodies, but really come over with us. Come with
Mm,
us and travel with us and show the world what it looks like to travel with joy again, and be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. And it's not cliche. It's into being. We're 9 months here, and we've had some really successful charters.
mm,
And our hope is that we can get you seeing the country that you're
mm,
so excited to visit.
mhm,
And that we can partner with those people that want to put on events to say, you know what, we don't want our people to come through that type of stress the type of inconvenience and that type of demand just to come to our event that's supposed to be celebrating freedom
Mm.
and
Mhm.
harmony and joy and health and wellness.
Mhm.
So we hope that people will reach out and say, look, we're looking for some charters, we're looking for some flights. Let's put on these events together and let's get
Mm.
people moving again.
Mm. 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 Yes to that. Yes to all of it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ah. So what can let me rephrase. How are some of the ways that people can start getting involved? I know that you have a membership platform that you
Yep.
want people to go to. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So if you go over to our freedomtravelalliance.com page,
Okay.
you can join us, and there will be some amazing special membership options for you guys, for
Mhm.
all of the people that are watching this today. Check that out and come get a discount. If something is a high barrier to entry to you, we implore you to send us an email. And then the second piece is really if you are offering anything, if you want to get connected anyway, please, there's no fee to join our freedom travel guide. I really think the fastest way out is through, and
Mhm.
the that is by connecting with anyone here that is doing something is of service, that has a product that the rest of the world wants to know about and support.
Mhm.
So I would implore people two ways: become a member. Obviously we need to show that membership base because that's what's pushing us into being able to buy those charters, and
Mhm.
then get active in our freedom travel guide and get connected to people that want to support you, like we do at
Yeah.
Freedom Travel Alliance. And then if lastly, if there is an event that you're looking to put on and you're looking for ways to help people get there, whether that be again the buses, the ferries, or the charters, let us know. We want to be able to support those endeavors and get people to your event traveling like a human again.
Yes. And let's be really clear about the membership. This is for anyone. Is that correct?
Correct.
Awesome.
Correct. This is for
Love
everyone and
this.
anyone. We want like-minded individuals, those that understand what it's like to travel with natural, inalienable rights, to
Mhm.
come in and be with us and jump in. It's about choice. It's about being able to choose not to travel under the duress and the mandates that are out there, and travel with a smile and like-minded
Mhm.
people. And again, right now setting ourselves up in that private domain where we're flying inside of FBOs, which are fixed
Mhm.
base operations, which are outside of the main terminals that most people are used to traveling, myself.
Oh, okay.
You're not going through a big airport. You're finding these
Mhm.
regional airports that are much different in size and scope and accessibility. So the best part about traveling private is the plane won't leave until you're on the plane. There's no like we're getting out of here.
Mhm. Mhm.
That there is no take your shoes off and take your belt off. There's none of that that's happening.
Mhm.
You are in a much more relaxed environment, which is why the bougie, uh, stars and well off people travel private, because it is a
Mhm.
much different experience. So by crowdsourcing it and funding it together, you're not bearing the brunt of an entire charter. And we have the
Mm.
opportunity to book something called empty legs. So empty legs are where someone already bought the charter and there's a one side of that leg, one side of that flight
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
empty. So we
Mm.
can grab on a lower priced empty leg and fill it up and get you moving.
Wow. That's so incredible. And
Yeah.
so some of it's kind of on the fly, right? It's not like, plan ahead.
Some of it's on the fly. We have people
Okay.
that, again, that are willing to say, "I'm ready. I have my bug out bag or travel bag in the
Yeah.
closet ready to go." So we can usually give up to a week to 2 weeks notice about an empty leg. It's not like, "Hey, it's tomorrow." We do get some of those,
Okay.
and we put it out to everybody that wants to know about it. Absolutely, because you never know who wants to go or needs to go or get somewhere. But again, the difference is that we take the burden of that. So if there's an opportunity where you want us to buy the charter, we can help with that versus if you're not able to do it yourself. And we have two options there.
And this will expand beyond flights, right?
We
You
have
talked about cruise
helicopters.
ships.
Yeah, yeah. So cruise ships are actually really cheap right now, and so are
Uh-huh.
ferries. So we've looked at, do we want to go that route first? But It's not as fast and it's not as speed to market. So our goal is to get in the air and then be the land and sea as well. We know that we're going to
Mhm.
need buses. We know that we need to be in that long hauler as truck realm as well. So we're working consistently with all areas of the business world. So we have farmers and ranchers that we're talking to about networking. And so if we buy the truck, can we move food that way? What does that look like in order to reimagine
Mhm.
how we are getting our groceries, how we're getting our supplies? And then we are looking at, obviously, I love a cruise ship, right? Who doesn't? Look what happened. They're the first reasons why we ended up where we are. It needs a
Mhm.
whole new makeover because
Mhm.
they're ready for us. I mean, that industry alone
Mhm.
would be like, right? Would be cool. It's
Can
going to
you
be
imagine
hybrid
an
all
all
this winter,
organic food cruise ship,
right?
right?
It could be wild, and
Oh.
it will be. And I think, again, anyone that's interested in that, I know we've had some people reach out saying, "Hey, I'm looking at buying a cruise ship. Are you guys in? Call me, email me. Let's go. Yeah, let's do it." Nothing is a
Incredible.
no. Everything's a maybe. Let's check it out. Let's see if we can do
Mhm.
it together. But
Mhm.
yes, so buses, a rail system eventually, but that's going to be the longest one to actually tackle because for
Mhm.
obvious reasons, it's not like
Yeah.
you can go throw down new tracks. But airlines and sea and plane and cruise ships and ferries.
Amazing. And honey, I see the future, and I see like personal drones, and like literally you can ride on them yourself,
Yeah, the
there's
eVTOL. Yeah, so we
yeah,
actually have an eVTOL operator that has purchased. He has an FBO in Boston that we're working with. It should be ready in a couple of years. So this way we can have our own slot for that. Again, it goes
amazing.
back to what is the world going to allow in the world
Mm.
that they want you to succumb to. So we are constantly trying to say, okay,
Mhm.
when aviation changes, when they try and jiggle and mess with the ways that we're already working inside of their restrictions, but
Uh-huh.
we're working inside of them. What are we going to do should they start to change them? And specifically, I would say those eVTOL and the drones are one area that they are going to become under more regulations because that's what they do, right? That's what they love to
Mhm.
do. Right
Mm.
now, they're not regulated. So those 10 passenger, like you were talking about, the 10
Mhm.
passenger drones that are
Mhm.
like this flying, taxi circa
Yeah.
um, like the Jetsons kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're gonna come under scrutiny eventually, so it's making sure that you're prepared for that, and I think that by putting ourselves inside of different, domains, it's gonna help.
Mhm. Mhm. And are you looking for ways to reduce the carbon footprint as well? Like, for instance, offsetting the fuel from the planes by planting trees, or electric buses?
Right. So what I'll tell
Yeah.
you is that there's a lot of that in discussion from the travel
Mhm.
industry. So there was a what I was calling a fire sale that was happening for the Airbuses
Mhm.
last year, and that was because they were putting them out of business. The BA were saying that we can't fly them because of the carbon output. What I actually would love to talk to people about, and I
Mhm.
feel like people that understand what we're doing get this a lot faster, is that extended stay. Not
Mhm.
doing right, so that empty leg, if that plane's flying either way and we put people on it, that actually does help, right? So it's not just
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
plane flying there either way. And it's
Mm.
fun to say, so now you're not going somewhere in a room that's only for 2 days, but all the work that takes to get there. So between the plane, the admissions of swiping the card, all the way to what it takes for the cleaning woman to come into that. Each room, I was reading an article that each hotel room puts out at least 80% carbon. And that's a giant footprint on a hotel room. So
Yeah.
then how do I say, okay, let's cut out the big chains and let's go into these Airbnbs. Let's find the smaller motels that maybe not doing those types of things. Let's
Mhm.
reimagine what it looks like to travel and extend our stay and become these working places versus the quick stays that really
Mm.
do put an impact on all sorts of stress on the environment.
Mhm.
From how you eat, what you eat to the tourism. So yes, nothing is off the table. We've been very lucky to have some very good conversations about how people are using garbage right now to turn it into ethanol.
Mhm.
So we are 100% mindful and looking at any way that we can invest and make a bigger investment in the operations and the big machinery that makes sense for the world, the earth.
Yeah, and basically using alternative fuel sources,
That's right.
or right, exploring those avenues. And you did bring something up really important to me. For instance, I just went and visited Colorado to see my beautiful Brielle and our marketing manager and director. And I had to stay in a hotel for one night. And when I did, I just realized like all the little packages and the soaps and the changing the sheets every single day after every single person. I was there for 9 hours total between when I got in the room and when I left. And just the impact that that makes on our environment. And so, I mean, everything that we've gone through the last year and a half, all the to-go containers, all the straws, all the little tiny cups of dressing, because you have to curbside pick up food from a
That's right. The
restaurant.
bags, all those
It's
bags.
absurd. Like we literally just hurt Mama Gaia even more
Mhm.
because of this experience that we're all going through.
And the
I mean,
water that people waste just to turn on their shower because they don't know how to turn the shower on because they're not familiar with it, or they let it run too long because it's not their home. Yeah, there's a lot of things that people need to understand that what we parked, and in the green initiatives, you're going to hear a lot about this. Well, those flights to nowhere or these short trips we saved on our carbon, right? There's some aspects that we did, but guess what? We were
mm,
doing it wrong anyway. So don't
mm,
tell me that we should be parked and you get to take some of my movement away because it's good for Mother Earth. I'm saying that we were doing it wrong for a long time now. And
yeah.
this is just the obvious reaction to that. That doesn't
Mm-hmm,
mean that you get to take my right to move away. I'm saying, can we, as the group that understand it, reimagine what that should look like and
mm-hmm,
work
mm-hmm,
on those solutions together
mm-hmm,
and not say,
mm-hmm,
okay, it's not business as normal because it's never going to be. But what does that reimagine look like? Like I said, so let's take over the Airbnbs. And the Airbnbs have said, like, if a lot of people couldn't check into Airbnbs even. They were saying if
right.
you're staying for only 24 hours, that goes against a certain mandate of the country or the state that you're in. We
Mm-hmm,
can't book it for you.
uh-huh.
So what I'm asking is, can we look to gathering all of those pieces? So if you're a
Mm,
chef that's working for a home that, or if you are a chef in a restaurant that's working at a restaurant that wasn't open, well, you have skills that, we could parlay over into these bigger moments of travel together. So
mm-hmm,
again, everything is on the table to retool, rejigger, and recalibrate.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, reforming. As it crumbles, you just pick up the pieces and start
Out of
putting
the
together the
ashes
new.
comes the phoenix. So I will say that
Exactly.
here we are and we're ready to soar. So I hope that
Exactly.
everyone takes this as a moment to think about, what is your superpower? What do you wish? It's like, I wish someone would start, or why don't they? Like, don't do the one of these anymore. And like, look to us and look to yourself and say, okay, well, what can I do? And if it's as simple as coming into freedomtravelalliance.com and saying, look, I have the ability and I've been waiting all year to travel, and I'm willing to wait a little bit longer to travel with you, or I want to shop a charter with you or a helicopter, or I have a passion to sail the world, the ocean wide, then reach out and let's get connected, because this is our time. This
Yeah.
really is. And I think it's amazing that we get to fix what we didn't know was so broken. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was an avid traveler with my events. I didn't know. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
give it a think.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider myself a very um, conscious person, but I didn't think about some of the ways that we are, from the uniforms to the gases, of what they're doing to
Mm-hmm.
clean these hotels, what they're doing to clean these airlines, what they're doing to clean these Ubers.
Yep.
It's not good. It's not any more beneficial. And then the cleaners themselves, like, what does it look like?
Mm-hmm.
Not even just the fumes, but like, what is it being
The
packaged in?
chemicals.
Right, and
Uh-huh.
who's manufacturing those things? It's like, if
Mm-hmm.
you break it all the way down to, is it as close to earth as possible? Are you doing the best thing for your body? And movement is an essential piece. It's in our DNA.
Yeah.
Travel, the way we found the
Traveling.
world, the
Yeah.
explorers
Yeah.
it's part of our natural DNA. So don't tell me we shouldn't. I'm saying let's do it, but let's do it together in a better way.
Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah, let's get rid of those little single serving half and halves too. Please.
Yeah, I don't think they're
Oh,
real. I don't even know what that is. That's like, can go to
right.
space. That stuff can go to space.
And it'll be good in 20 years. You
Yeah.
can still drink it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
No, that's
dear
the best part
one.
about travel with us. You know, you get to know if we drink kombucha or if you're drinking this a scotch. We're gonna know
All
because we
right.
have a profile that make sure that all of our members are well thought of and well taken
Uh,
care of.
Taken care of. I love it. Okay. So 11/11 is really a special day. I know it's a special thing for you as well. And I want to learn a little more about it. But my question to you specifically today, being a portal day, a day that you can anchor any prayer that you want, what is it that Freedom Travel Alliance needs the most right now?
Oh,
What are you calling in?
we want and need right now every human being to be a part of us as a member.
Mm, mm,
Every person that is on the same vibration to be a part of us and be a member right now. It's that simple.
that's amazing. Yeah, let's do it. Everyone, go to the website, freedomtravelalliance.com. And Susan, tell us a little bit about your love of 11/11. Now that we spoke to it.
Oh man. So I should have brought some tissues. Um, so I didn't actually know about 1111 until my grandmother passed away.
Mm,
My grandmother was a collector of angels. She was my second mom. Yeah, so she passed away on 1111 at
mm.
1111.
Oh my goodness.
And there is not one day
Oh.
since her passing that I don't look at the clock at 1111.
Mm.
Not one. Not one day. Um, and she was my biggest fan. She was one of my biggest. I mean, my parents are super supportive, but she's one of my biggest fans. She was just this crazy, amazing knockout woman, and the power that she held in her belief of faith in the humanity in the world and the power of angels was a big one. She passed that on to all of us. She was known as the Angel Lady because she always had some kind of angel on her, whether that be her necklace, her jewelry, her bedazzled Jersey shirt. You know, because we're from Jersey. Um, and she had a collection like you don't even know. And it means it's magical because she, well, first off, for all the reasons, right? But then I didn't know any of those reasons, and until I started searching that, and so that's why for a while we're looking to resubmit, and hopefully by the time we're all where we need to be in 2022, we have the ability to do that subscription base again at 1111. I chose that number because it is so important to me as my own personal self, let alone what it is, in the world, from a standpoint. But yeah, she is with me all the time, and so it's wild that. So when we met over Lee's, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to know this woman because she's manifested something that I didn't even know about, and you've known about it way longer than I have, right? So yeah, and she was just again my biggest fan. So when I look to my higher self and my being of when I'm very heart centered in my spirituality of God, my trust in God, she is the first person I think of and I reach out to, going, Nana, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I'm doing the right thing. So yeah, it means a lot to
Oh,
me. And again, not
thank
one day. It's wild. Not wild. It's what it's
that's
supposed to be, right?
incredible.
None
Of
of you
course
guys
it
are,
is.
yeah, but
It's synchronistic,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I didn't even know this, love. I literally thought I was just gonna, hear your story of 11/11. It's so deep and touching. Thank you for being so vulnerable and authentic and sharing that. I don't know if you know this, but 11 is the angelic number. It means enlightenment and spiritual awakening. And for her to for her to exit this life at exactly that portal moment, oh my goodness.
11/11 at 11/11.
I just felt her presence move through the room that I'm sitting in.
I'm telling you,
Nana, is that what you call her? Nana?
yeah, Nana.
Hi, Nana.
Yep. So it means a lot. So and it's important to be connected to that. I
Yeah.
don't lose sight of that ever. This is again, I've been a gift from God that my son came into my life, and I lean into my spirituality of knowing that this is the right moment at the right time, and I have the right people up there guiding me to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some really beautiful souls have passed in the last year and a half, and I keep, oh, why? And then I just remember they're there for a reason. They're there to help
Yep.
guide this,
Yep.
all of this. So
So
thank you, Nana. Oh. Well, precious soul, I am so grateful that we got to talk a little bit. And you mentioned earlier a discount for some of our viewers, and that's going to be on this page
that's
down in the
right.
corner. You'll be able to see a discount to the membership for Freedom Travel Alliance.
Come in, check us out, get active, and come say hello and let us know that where you're coming from. We'd love to see you in the members forum. And I can't wait
Yeah.
to figure out Egypt together.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I feel like we have so much to weave together. It's all happening. It
Thank you.
definitely is. Thank you for sharing your story and your vision and your mission. And may it be blessed. May
Thank
it
you.
be blessed. Yeah. And all of us, I'm going to go sign up right now. I'm not even a member yet. And I'm going to go sign up now. I want to travel with Nana.
Yeah, right. You're an automatic member, girl. Come on now.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Thanks. I can't wait to fly together in the party in the
Yes.
sky
Uh-huh.
on angel's
Exactly.
wings.
Let's do it. Love it. Thank you, family, for being here. Thank you for all that you do. And we hope to travel with you soon. Blessed be.